After a long day of being pulled in every direction, the last thing anyone wants to think about is what's for dinner. That's where Schwann's can help, with a variety of real food choices, frozen to lock in freshness. From ready-made meals, premium meats and side dishes, to vegetables, ice cream, and more. Schwann's foods go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours, so you can pull off a delicious meal in no time at all. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. To help simplify mealtime, visit schwanns.com.
Geico presents yet another voicemail from your roommate.
Hi. So, about the kitchen. Turns out when there's a grease fire, you're not supposed to throw water on it. Who would have known, right? Anyways, the fire department is here and it's totally cool. Give me a call back when you get a chance.
The Geico Insurance Agency could help keep your personal property protected, like if danger is your roommate's middle name. Visit geico.com to see how easy it is to switch and save on renter's insurance.
Hi, this is Jim the Keys bartender coming to you from Key Largo, and I'm on the obviously I'm on the line with someone who has two rambunctious dogs. Is that one or two?
That's Glory, the border collie, Gloria, and she's saying hello too.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this is my sister, Margaret Mary Stein. Well, I'm talking to her via Skype for. Peggy didn't quite understand when I said I would call her today over Skype that it would be a number she wouldn't recognize before, and it did say restricted. And Peggy, anything, the way your phones are set up, your cell phone,
yes.
When you get like a voice over internet, VoIP, or Skype call, it will say restricted.
Well, thanks for the update, Jim.
Well, I did say I was going to call you via Skype, didn't I?
I know, but I never knew that it would come up by restricted. But thank you. Now I know
how I do. Do you know how I do these? Do you know what? I mean, you are a tech person. Do you know what I do?
I don't technically know how you set up your podcast. No, I don't.
I use an online application, and it's like an online soundboard. I'm not going to say who's older or who's not, but we're born on the same day, a year apart.
Yes, August 24th.
Yes, and you actually.
And we never talk age.
Nope, we don't talk age. But I think they know
we're Jehovah's Witnesses,
so they know you're within a year of that. We're
Jehovah's Witnesses. Well, I'm Jehovah's Witness.
Peg, that's just recognizing birthdays. They recognize aging. That's
not
different.
If you don't look it.
Okay, Peg. Whatever makes you sleep better at night is all right with me. Obviously, it's a little different podcast. We won't be going into the issues and things that sometimes creep up. And since my sister doesn't frequent bars, she wouldn't really get much of the things I talk about. I mean, she's been in there, but she's not a frequent.
I've been in bars. Excuse me. I've been in bars. I've just been taken off the street very early in life.
That's not the way you want to put that, Peg. Taken off the street. You've been taken off the market.
Excuse me.
You've been taken off the market. Well, that doesn't sound any better, does it?
Well, I was taken off the street early in life, and so that I wasn't able to do the bar scene, Mm-hmm. Which is probably a good thing.
Yeah. Hey, I would have included Ted, because I think there is definitely is a conferencing feature on Skype, but I because of Teddy's position in the government, I don't know if it'd be good to get him in there.
But Teddy doesn't work. There's nothing on his desk. There's nothing on his desk.
Peg, you don't really. People know exactly who we are and how we are related to him. So let's not implicate Ted in any ideas that Let's not say things about people that there could be implications for the things we say. Do you know?
Oh, that's true. Okay.
Yeah.
But listen, I want to set some ground rules.
I would suggest you don't say anything about other than how you love your daughters, how wonderful you are, not what they think about. Not what they think about and what what the things they do, only as it pertains to work and only as it is unclassified and the things you can talk about, not things that talk to you in confidence. So
this is not. So we won't talk about the things that are blacked out.
No, but I'm just looking out. I've learned this. I've been doing this show for 2 years, and the funny thing is, I know you're not one of my most popular listeners because you don't listen that often.
Excuse me, I'm a very busy female.
I know.
I
no,
do
I'm
things,
just saying,
but I do.
You don't listen to your brothers.
But I do listen.
Yeah. You
I have
don't listen to your brother's show.
I have to listen more.
I have people that listen to every show, and they live in Costa Rica.
Oh, I'm impressed.
No.
Hey, listen, I want to set some ground rules. Well, since you set your ground rules, I only have 2 ground rules. Okay.
Well, Peg, I'm looking out for you because I've been doing it for 2 years. I make sure people don't get embarrassed by their things and they don't hurt anybody. Actually, a couple weeks ago, a friend of mine, a friend of mine from the bar, someone said something and it really hurt his feelings. And we had mentioned his name, which is a bad one. If we're unless we're saying something that's funny and doesn't affect their occupation or their feelings and things like that. That's what I'm trying to do. I try to make it into an amalgam of people, and sometimes if it happened recently, I'll talk about it in the past, right? You know what I mean? Or
that's
make a parody of it.
I agree with you. So we should set some ground rules.
If there are real people, their behavior is so ridiculous and so public that it doesn't really matter. When I say I'm talking about local people and maybe celebrities, but it's so ridiculous that whatever I say does not impugn them any more than they've impugned themselves. How's that?
Sounds fabulous.
Okay,
What are
your ground rules, Peg?
I do. I have some ground rules. I thought about this, and I have number 1. This is one that has to be referred. I would like to be referred as the Lady of the Lake. And I think that's pretty easy. And the second rule is...
Hold on 1 second. I got to tell Alexa to be quiet. Hold on, Peg. Hold on a second. Alexa, stop. I put a reminder that I was going to have to call you and set up my recording stuff. So, Peg, I remember. You're making an obscure reference to our child, and it wasn't a lake, it was a creek. It was a very small creek, and the Lady of the Lake was a reference.
True.
Do you
but
know
I am the Lady of the Lake, and I would be...
You know who the Lady of the Lake was? Peg?
Yes.
Who was the Lady of the Lake?
Well, she was also part of Excalibur, wasn't she? The one who pulled out Excalibur?
Camelot, or King Arthur. Excalibur was a movie based on the King Arthur...
taking the sword out.
The White novel, I think the King, E.E. White, and it goes back, and it's a fictional king in England, and the Lady of the Lake was a watery tart.
Oh yeah, and I had one more. One more.
If you remember, Peggy, if you remember from Holy Grail. Monty Python Holy movie. Grail, they were arguing over when the part where King Arthur is galloping with his guy with coconuts pounding.
Was it Sir Robin?
No, it wasn't Sir. No, it was King Arthur.
King Arthur with his
King Arthur was going along. He runs into some peasants, and they said he addressed himself as King Arthur, and they started talking about. They started using Marx and Engels terminology for class descriptions, and he says, well, I'm king of the Britons. And he goes, what makes you king of the Britons? And he describes that he received Excalibur from the lake. And he says, so some watery tart gave you a sword, and now you're a king.
That is my favorite. That is my favorite movie.
Yeah, and it is. Okay. But Lady of the Lake, I think that was referencing listeners. We had our family had, and it still has. Some of our cousins still, second cousins still have the properties.
Summer cabin. Yeah.
Yeah, they were. And they
were the year that was, and it was actually named Camelot. Because our father wrote a plaque and they put Camelot, and then on the other side he wrote the Asylum. Remember that? You know
what? I guess if you consider the time that it was made, we had some of the same amenities as they had in Camelot, because they didn't have. We did have running water, but
right, and it never rained during the day. It only rained at night.
the privy was pretty much the same, a hole in the ground. But Lady of the Lake referencing that, yeah. And
okay, so I want to be. I have one more. I have one more. The polio-ridden creek. That if we didn't get if we weren't vaccinated, we would have all been like. What was the guy? Louis? Yeah, we'd all have polio. We'd be in the iron lung.
Was it Louis? And we should have all.
Yes. Louis! I remember Louis. Louis.
We should have all died of dysentery or something from.
Or some kind of diarrhea form disease.
Oh my God! Yes,
it was. Yes, Jimmy, we had the best time there.
Stagnant brown water that we swam in. But when it rained. But when it rained, it would get very high, and then we would get that dam. Remember, we used to cross that dam. And then we get the big inner tubes. Remember the big inner tubes? But that's not. It's actually not really. Remembering things that you and I did without having visualizations and pictures and something is quite boring for listeners. That's something I've learned through the years, Peg. So
okay, well then we'll pass to my next ground rule then, because I have one more. Oh yeah, I'm not going to refer to you as really and extremely important. Okay, but I refuse to talk about the Quakers. Well, Peggy. If you refuse to talk something, you don't have to have any ground rules then, Peg, because you just don't have to answer it. And why the hell would I say anything about the Quakers? You don't. Well, I have a follow-up, though. What? And one more thing. If the audience screams out whammy, I have a bag of Snickers that I'm going to throw out to each and every one of them. Remember the conversation we had, right? Remember the conversation we had Tuesday? Yes. That if you it's all right, and it's all right, Peg. You're not actually marking yourself as anything else. But if you really do want to come across as crazy, that's fine with me. I'm not going to, because you can always come back. You go back. And you know what, Pat? You may want to stay away from trite lines, because it was the guy in the movie Anchorman. He used the name Whammy. I'm known by my tagline, but there's a funny fact in this, though. What? But Jimmy, there's a funny fact about the Snicker bars, because who created the candy bar? Who did? Well, the person I refuse to talk about. A Quaker invented a candy bar? Yes. A Quaker invented the candy bar? Yes. Okay. Well, don't mention them by name and tell me this interesting fact. What did they invent and when did they invent it? And don't mention who they are. Okay. So you can do it. What did they invent? What candy bar did they invent? The Snicker? Anyway, enough of the ground rules. Now I'm intrigued. The candy bar was. Yes, it was by those group of folks. What was it originally? I'm not sure of the brand. I don't think it had a brand name back then. So you issued some. Yeah, here. Well, you know what? You're par for the course with a lot of people that come on the show. You have limited information. You're certain about. Excuse me. They didn't have a brand name back then. It was pretty much before the industrial age. I've been accused of it too the other day, and you don't listen to the show, so you wouldn't caught me on it. So I'm not even going to talk about it. But I've talked to you many times, though, Jim. I also know your information sources. No, but I misspoke. I misspoke on a previous show, but since you don't listen to it, I know you're not going to address it, so it's all right. But I do. I'm going to have to listen more. I'm a big enough person that when I make a mistake, I admit it. But I didn't make a mistake because they didn't have a brand name back then. I'm not talking about that, Peg, so don't feel guilty about it. I wasn't referencing you. Okay? Oh. I'm not, and the thing is, I'm not even guilty. Yeah, I don't feel it. Oh my God, Peggy, you'd be, like I said, you'd be the worst secret agent. I always said this, out of anybody in the family, you'd be the worst secret agent, unless your thing was to portray yourself as crazy
And then people say, well, obviously you wouldn't make a secret agent out of a crazy person because they would spill everything. I mean, they're the kind of people that if you were in the CIA and you were dealing with people, let's say post 9/11, you were in northern Afghanistan in the hills with the Northern Alliance, and you were a CIA operative, and you would give it to this girl so she could keep it in the trunk of her car. And then she would sell that car, or not sell the car, give that car to her brother, and it would have that Xerox copy of the said person.
Excuse me, are you saying, Jim,
I'm not saying
that I would ever divulge any type of national secrets?
Peggy, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you appear as if someone that you wouldn't want to give the secrets to.
That is not true. I would like
appear.
The audience to be. I would like you to retract that statement.
Don't take me the wrong way. I said
retract that
you
statement,
appear.
my
You
brother.
appear. I didn't make the statement. I said you appear as if someone would be very poor person to give confidential information to, with the expectation of it
can I refer to Julian Assange?
Okay, there you go, Peg. Yep, is that your model for behavior?
No, but it's an interesting concept.
No,
is he a journalist?
No, you want to refer to someone, you refer to Mata Hari. Wait
a minute, we're not allowed to say Julian Assange either?
She kept great secrets. Julian Assange does not keep secrets. Or obviously doesn't ask women for the affirmative response when he went in relations with them.
Or age.
Yes, either.
Or age.
What?
Yeah, like he's not very good at gauging age of females.
Yeah, yep. So all those things. Yeah. So that's the wrong model, Peg. So let's get.
But anyway, he is being extradited.
We do share a birthday, and you said, is Mark over your shoulder right now?
He's actually in a meeting. He has a lot of meetings. He's in the basement where he's very, tucked away. I lock him down there, and he's down there, and he's happy.
Rich of you. Okay.
Yeah, I throw food down. Yeah. He's safe down there in a meeting, and I can hear him all the way up there.
My brother-in-law, Peggy. How long have you guys been married?
Oh, for too long.
How long is it? Come
on. More than 30 years.
30 what? 30, how many years? 32 years?
Older than Kelly.
How old's Kelly?
I don't want to give her age. It's not right to do a woman's age.
Okay. How long have you been married?
34 years.
Okay. See,
I got married as a young woman, very young woman.
Okay, that's all right.
I was very young. I told you.
If you don't worry about age, you don't worry about looking your age. Why do you care about people knowing your age?
Well, I don't really, because I actually am proud of what I look like. However, no, I'm not going to say it. I refuse to. I refuse to say my age. I am. I'm going to use the binary digits. Then I can do a binary digit.
No.
I'll use binary code.
Represent two numbers. Okay? And do it. Okay? Do it right now. Do it in any code you want to.
Okay.
Make it accurate.
Do it quickly. 11111. 222.
That's 56. Okay.
Okay, shut up.
You gave it out to everyone, Peg. I didn't say you gave out the number. Right?
You told me to do it, but I didn't expect you to answer the question.
Oh, you didn't have to answer the question, Peg. I just, you fell into my trap, so that's all right. You gave it out, and I just translated it. So it's perfectly fine. Okay. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, Peggy. So we grew up a year apart, and since everyone knows I'm 55, they realize you're 1 year older than me.
Yes, but I'm better looking than you. I am better than looking than him.
As a woman, you are. He is. As a woman,
I am. I'm very. Yes, I am like I'm your female version of you. But I'm not as tall as you. I'm 5'5".
Mm-hmm. I'm not. I hate Peg. I'm not.
But we are. We're a good looking family.
I never talk about what I look like.
Well, he looks like the original Superman, not the original Superman, but the Christopher Reeve.
Okay, Superman. But I never try to talk about it because you know what?
True.
I try not to be God. I don't talk about.
All right.
I do talk about working out. I do talk about working out and all that stuff. But what I work out too is that we were a year apart, and a lot of things that we when we were younger, you had a penchant, much like Cersei Lannister. You had a penchant for poisoning people.
Yes, I did. I had chemistry sets. But that's something that's in our genetics. Because Dad did too.
You used the chemistry. See, chemistry sets they made safe. So a lot of times the things in a chemistry set, they thought, kids could drink this. But you sometimes. Yeah,
I would go into. I went into Grandmom's medical thing where she used to get all that stuff from the hospital, and she had that cabinet. Yeah, and I go in there and I mix tinctures.
Yep.
And then I would feed it to you and our neighbor. Remember our neighbor?
Not me. You got me maybe once, but you used to get Peggy and Jimmy all the time. Our cousin Jimmy Jory used to get.
Oh yeah, and then poor Betty.
Yeah.
Remember Betty? Oh, and remember Dewey? Dewey.
You used to do that to Dewey.
You did.
Dewey was the same age.
No, we did. I know, but Dewey was easy.
I mentioned Dewey since Dewey did go to prison. We're not impugning him. Remember the picture about his mother? I mean, not mother. Our mother was showing me a picture of Dewey in a family, and it was an older woman. She looked like old enough to be his mother, and it turned out he was married to her, and he looked like one of her children.
Yeah, she married his cousin.
And then he ended up.
Yeah, boy, that was his cousin.
Oh, he ended up killing her, right?
Yeah. You should also add that they're from, okay, I'm not.
It doesn't matter, Peg. I'm not going to impugn a whole state.
Can I say West Virginia?
Yeah, but Peg, West Virginia and that part of Pennsylvania are virtually they're virtually identical. But
no, they're not. No, Bucks County and
I'm
Charleston.
Not saying that part. I'm talking
Virginia
about that part of West Virginia that runs into Pennsylvania. They're virtually the same kind of demographics. And how did Dewey kill his wife? Did he shoot her or stab her?
I think he smothered her.
Smothered her? With
wait a minute.
Love?
That might have been Uncle Bill.
What? What are you saying?
I can't say. I'm not
you
saying.
See once again about being secret? Remember a secret agent thing? You just made an accusation.
Well, I just dropped it. I just dropped something. I didn't accuse anything. I just actually there is a thought out there that Uncle Bill was smothered.
By who?
By someone in that family down there in West Virginia.
Really?
And possibly the one we were talking about.
Dewey. So Dewey served time for murder.
Well, for killing his cousin.
For his wife.
His cousin.
Yeah. I mean, but he was. Yeah, I mean, you can say his wife who was.
They were drinking. Let's just put it this way. They were drinking.
Actually, wasn't our cousin. He was our only cousin. There was no blood.
Cousin through marriage, only marriage. So there would be no blood, no bloodline. There was no bloodline.
Our bloodline.
We should always add that.
Unfortunately, I think in our family we currently have no accused. There's my daughter waking up. Sky, she just came out of her deep Cinderella-like slumber, or was it Sleeping? No, Cinderella.
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
And the seventh dwarf. You're not a seventh dwarf. You're actually.
I'm all of them.
6'4". The tallest one.
Yeah. So
the odd one. You're elf. You're
Let's cover. I wanted to cover a couple early childhood experiences that we've had, and they don't reflect badly on either one of us. So I'm not here to. Like I said, Peg, if you noticed anything I said about you so far, the poisoning actually raises your,
Interesting factor.
Interesting
I know.
fact. You're poisoning. But we.
Well, wait a minute. Did you ever tell them that I also had the penchant for because our uncle was a priest, Uncle Ted, and I used to have his. I used to go and get his chalice and the host, and I'd actually make you all sit there, and I'd say mass, and you would sit there diligently, and I'd give you Holy Communion.
That at all. I do not remember.
Oh well, I did. Well, I do.
I remember we made it out of bread. We made it a little.
He had I actually gave there was actually hosts in the kit because he carried the kit. Yes, yes, and I would give you Holy Communion. I gave you Holy Communion.
I say mass on the porch of the cabin.
Right? He did that, but I also did that for you too. I also said mass, and I was the first female priest.
Unsanctioned
at the age.
Unsanctioned. But you know what, Peg? You did do a much better job than many priests because you never touched anybody. So that's actually good.
No, I poisoned people, but I didn't do anything else.
Well, that's actually probably not that bad compared to what...
No, I didn't kill anybody.
Nope. Not that we know of.
No. I know. I didn't.
Not that we know of. But we've had some interesting... some of the adventures I want to, and it could be disjointed because some of the ones we took, I think we probably can go in once, but I'm going to focus in on one maybe. One time there's so many of them. It's one of the dumb things you and I both did at the same time. We were visiting Teddy lived with Mom in Tampa, and you and I visited her from Philadelphia. And we stayed the month. And our stepfather at the time drove us to, we were going to Clearwater Beach. And I don't know if Teddy came with us. Teddy may not came with us or something like that. He hung out with us.
He
16
did.
Respectively. And he dropped us off at the beach, which is kind of weird because it was like an hour. It was a 2-hour round trip.
It was an hour and a half away and just left us in Clearwater.
Which, we were fine with it. We had money and
do you remember I almost drowned at Fort Dick? I almost drowned.
It's July in Clearwater, Florida, and the idea is we wanted to get a tan from being pale, and we put baby oil on our body. And we contracted sun poisoning for the next 3 days.
Oh my gosh,
we must have killed over 5 full-grown aloe plants by having... That was...
we had the worst case of sunburn. We were in bed for 3 days afterwards. I think we literally had at least first to second degree burns.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. And we laid in bed.
We walking to Busch Gardens because Mom's got us the season passes. And we were
that was fun.
We walked whatever 2 miles to Busch Gardens, and after the sunburn healed, and I looked down and I looked like a leper because all the sweat,
skin was peeling off.
It's bubbles of sweat with the skin peeling off. I'm looking down. I was like freaking out. I didn't know what was going on. But that was a brilliant idea. We didn't have very little understanding of what a UV
that was definitely a stupid non-Mensa moment. Yeah,
and then we were left at the same year, maybe, I think. We went to the
McGill
Air Base, and we were all pretty good swimmers, but you had a tendency to panic when something touched your leg or something like that.
It was a huge grouper. It was a grouper. I was just talking about it the other day.
You'd freak out, and then you'd start, and then we were swimming out to a platform. Mm-hmm. And you freaked out.
And it was out there. It was out.
Yeah, it was out there.
We were doing really good. We were doing really good until that fish ran against ran its body against my leg. Yeah. And I basically just froze, and you were swimming near me, and Sandy was there with us, my best friend. Mm-hmm. And we were trying to get to, and all of a sudden I stop in the water and I start panicking. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't make it. I remember yelling, Jimmy, I can't do it. I can't swim. And you're yelling at me. You didn't come close to me. You wouldn't come close to me. You did the right thing. You said, swim, Peggy, swim.
I was close.
Swim.
I stayed out of reach out of you. Because
no, I know. You're not supposed to.
When someone's panicking, they'll pull you under.
I can take you down.
Yeah, you were freaking out, and you swam out, and you got there, and you made it back. Remember, I didn't want to go back. Remember, I finally got to the dock, and then I said, will you tell the lifeguard to come and bring me back? I didn't want to do it. And you were like, no, Peg, you're going to do a dive. So I guess we did a really good dive because we had swimming lessons. Yeah. And we dove, like I dove half the length of the water to get to the foot to where I could stand. And I got out of that water. Wow, that was the last time I'd swim in the ocean. That was the last time. Only pools. Were you on the family vacation where we were in Emerald Isle?
Oh God, Emerald Isle. No, with the Burkharts, I missed that one. I was no. No, when you saved, who'd you save? You saved somebody.
3 of them, right? They were all those.
Oh, that's right, the Riptides.
All those young cousins were out there, and we, Jimmy, Jory, and I are smoking cigarettes and drinking beer on the beach, right?
You were smoking cigarettes?
Yeah, that was 20. I was 20 something. I was smoking then. Yeah.
You were smoking at that point in high school? Because there was a point where you didn't do anything. Well, we don't. Do I want to bring that up?
I was in my 20s. Oh, they know I was sober for 7 years. But Peg, that was years. Yeah, that was over 30.
Yeah, when you were in you were in high school, you weren't. You were read the encyclopedia.
When I was
you just read the encyclopedia. No, I would come home. You were in high school, and here comes another story. You were in high school, and I would come home. And you'd be sitting home.
I told the story when I went into I was in 8th grade. And I did all those things with Charlie and the other guys. We drink beer and smoke pot in the woods and stuff. I decided I wanted to go in the Navy, so I stopped that in high school.
Unless of course me and you
in 9th grade. From 9th grade to 12th grade, I didn't do any of that stuff. I mean, I did drink some beer.
No, there was times where I was grounded, and I would beg Dad. I used this ploy. I'd say, Dad, we're going to Mass, and I'm taking Jimmy with me, and he'd say, well, Jimmy has to go with you. I took you to. I was in 8th grade. We didn't go to Mass.
We went to the playground.
We went to that where my friends were, and we smoked a doobie.
There was something else in it.
I know you were wasted.
I know, it just started red blotches, and I was sitting there, and you didn't seem to panic at all.
Yes.
You just watched
you turned green. You turned green. You couldn't handle it, Oh, and you didn't tell people how you used to make me sign things when I'd come home at night. You'd make me sign stuff. I don't even remember, but you'd make me sign it on a dotted line saying, if I did this again, you were going to tell Dad. Oh, my God. Dad, if Dad listens
if that actually happened, Peggy, there would be papers still around. You would have kept them. Or someone would have kept them.
No, you kept them, Jimmy. You were that good at it. You made me sign things.
I don't remember.
All the time. Yes, you did. You always made me sign it because I'd come home wasted. Because I was a big believer in chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was a dabbler. It was the time in the season,
I wasn't accused of anything. I didn't even, Peggy. You notice something? I never said any of that. You notice? About discretion and confidentiality?
Oh, it was important, though.
It didn't know.
It's important to know.
Peggy, I don't care. This is called. That's self-recrimination. So.
On me.
Yeah. So. I'm not.
But see, I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to disclose what I did in the past.
Oh, I'm not, Peggy. The listeners know all this stuff. I told everything. Okay. I told them at the time. Almost every embarrassing thing I did. I told them I mentioned.
Oh, actually, there's a funny story. Here's a funny story.
I mentioned what?
Jimmy, do you remember when that guy wrote that almost a Bible? It was almost like out of the Gospels.
See,
it was like either the Gospels or Mark.
That's
and
not
he
embarrassing. He wrote the Gospel according to Finney, and he wrote a Bible story
about you,
about me being Jesus.
Yeah, and you had all these followers, and it was everyone had a character, and they were all prophets. And Teddy was Teddy was named Theo, the hairdresser or something. It was like, and you had all these followers, and it was the best gospel I ever read. I remember finding it in Grandma's thing, and I was reading this thinking, my goodness, Jimmy has a lot of friends that really adore him. You know,
that was the kid. That was the kid when I was a senior in high school. It was it was in the fall, and he called me from, that the shop right near where Benny and Flynn's was, right at the Home Circle at the Boulevard.
Yes.
His mom's station wagon broke down, and I drove. He had my number, and he called and asked for a ride. And I drove up and picked him up and took them home. And after that, I was his biggest hero. He was picked on all the time, so I was good. And I wasn't much better. You know what I mean? I was just a little more.
No, you were as you got older, you became to fill out more. Mm-hmm. You actually started to become real manly. So then everyone started looking to you as godlike. You were godlike. Jimmy, here's a good story. How about the time Jimmy always got all the awards? He was a fabulous student in high school. Fabulous. I mean, he studied his butt off. He had every first honors, was on the thing. But remember the year that it was chemistry and I was not doing well, and it was, I believe I got a call. Grandmom got a call from my teacher saying that I was failing. And Dad said that I would have to either I pass chemistry, or I go upstate and stay with the aunts for the summer, which would be the worst thing in the world, right? So what I did was I went to after Christmas break, I went to the teacher and I said, I need to make it. I got to do well and I got to pass this course. So I became her chemistry assistant, and I got an A for the whole year. And then I remember the last year of the year, my junior year, Sister Mary said to me, and she was the coolest nun on earth. Sister Mary loved me. She says, Peggy, and she always called me Peggy. All the other nuns called me Margaret. She says, Peggy.
Hold on 1 second. I'm going to pause it 1 second. Alexa, stop. Okay. She had an alarm.
Okay. So Sister Mary said, Peggy, you have to go down to the auditorium and you have to sit in the front row. And I'm like, and I'm with Sandy, of course. And I'm like, well, and I said, Sister, I said, why? She says, well, they're giving out awards. I said, well, what am I getting?
You got the science award.
I got the chemistry award. Yeah. They called my name, and all the potheads and everybody was yelling and whistling. And I walk home completely. I was smoking with Sandy. Walking home. I have this beautiful award. Grandmom's in the back. I get in the back of the yard, outside in the backyard, and you're there. And I come back with this beautiful award, nice and big with a big red ribbon. And you got so mad. Do you remember how mad you got? You didn't. You said I didn't deserve it. You said I didn't deserve it.
Peggy, you just admitted that you smoked pot on the way home. Could it be possible that you are exaggerating this story?
No, I'm not exaggerating. I have a perfect memory.
You just said it. You just said that in the thing. If I was in the courtroom, I just said, "Oh, Peggy, there's no way you can misconstrue anything that happened if you had not smoked.
Well, first of all,
you would not have mentioned.
Back then, the weed was crap.
Peg, if you notice right now, you mentioned your award. You never mentioned any awards that I got. I think you definitely deserved it, and I don't had the need for any acclaim of that. But while you're at it, though, you did have a great story when it comes to that. And this is a comedy show, because that wasn't necessarily funny. Remember, you laid out.
I just what it says. Try to get my reputation up.
You laid out a very cogent, rational argument to Dad. And Dad told me this one. He said that you said to him, he says, listen, you spend a lot of money on sending us to Catholic school. And you... I
remember this.
Yeah, yes, you said. And you said, you were saying, I could save you a lot of money and you could just send me to George Washington and say...
Public school.
The
boys were there.
And Dad said, and Dad goes... and Dad says, you can do that. You can go to public school as soon as you.
But after you
Catholic school, that was great.
And I looked at him.
Yeah.
I looked at Dad after he said that, and I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay, yeah, my dad said it made complete sense to him. That was funny. He goes, oh, well, thank you for being so thoughtful and stuff like that. Well, you're welcome to go to that. And
of course, after you graduate, Archbishop Brian.
Yeah. Oh, Peg.
You can go to any school you want.
Do you recall walking down Knights Road, and that was around the corner from your house?
Oh.
We were going to Wawa for you to get yourself a pack of cigarettes, and we're driving.
Yes, it was.
This is when kids could buy cigarettes,
Exactly. And go into the state law store and buy liquor. At 17. Okay, but anyway, I remember the story. Go ahead. It was me, you, and Teddy.
I don't think Teddy was with us.
Yes, he was, because he didn't help. Oh. I'll tell you why. You tell the story. And I'll tell you what.
And we were going on the street closer to the hospital, and we were on that hill right in between the hospital and Wawa. And it's a convenience store in the northeastern part of the United States. But now it's also in Florida. That's another story.
Wow.
So we're walking down, and you had a friend. I don't know if it could have been girlfriends or...
No, she was she was a very nice David Bowie person who, kind of like girls and guys.
Nagel?
It was McDougal something. Okay. Yeah, and she was like really cool because she was into David Bowie. But she also played both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. So anyway, but it was cool to be friends with her.
All I see is you acting like a nut, waving.
I know.
And all of a sudden, she disappeared. Right next to me, she disappeared, and she fell into an open manhole.
I did. I fell in an open manhole. My leg saved me.
Yeah,
it was my leg.
Your left leg got kinked in.
It was my left leg. I still have the indents in my leg.
Is it left or right? I'm trying to remember.
It was my left leg that went up and hit the side of the sewer.
Yeah, and you got all scraped up. It was kind of bleeding a lot and all that stuff.
Yeah, and it took bone out.
And we're right at the road. We're right. Maybe
and it was during dinner time too, where people were coming home.
Yeah,
they were coming home and they were watching. And I was laughing. Do you remember me laughing my butt off? And you were really upset. You were like freaking out. And Teddy was standing back about 25 feet, and he just was laughing too. And he wouldn't even come near me because he was almost embarrassed to be close to us. And a young guy across the street came over to you to help me to pull me out of the sewer. Yeah. And fortunately, you both took me into the emergency room because I had to get a tetanus shot.
Call our grandmother.
And she started laughing too on the phone. Right? She started laughing on the phone.
Yeah.
When they told her fell in the manhole.
They wouldn't treat you without it. I go she fell in it. Come on, she fell and she needs to get some kind of cleaned up. Just clean her up.
And she's laughed.
She's laughing on the phone. I guess just give your permission, And
Grandma was a registered nurse. She was super smart woman, super smart for that age. She actually graduated from high school and everything. I mean, Grandma Haram was so smart. But
wait a second. She wasn't smart enough to know that she was speaking German for 10 years of her life.
Well, that's because she lived in a Pennsylvania Dutch household that only spoke.
She thought she was speaking Dutch. No.
Why? Well, right, she did.
You know why?
And then she went to visit Copenhagen instead of Germany.
No, but Peg, do you know why? She didn't know.
Why?
It was, a German. Well, first of all, it's Pennsylvania Deutsch is Dutch. You know, they
Deutsch.
Deutsch. They changed it to Dutch, and they weren't Dutch. There were very few Dutch people that were there. And
but she didn't,
because of World War II, when she was 7 years old, World War I broke out, 1914. And U.S. got involved in 1917 after the sinking of the Lusitania. And
yes, good job. Thanks for the fact.
Anybody of German descent would distance themselves. And they kept on saying to the kids, Grandma was 10, 11 years old and stuff like that. And they said, and they were speaking a lot of German then. They stopped speaking the old German and started speaking exclusively English. And they just referred to themselves as, instead of Pennsylvania German, Pennsylvania Dutch. And that was it.
Is that true?
That's what it called. Yep.
Who did you learn that from?
Well,
how'd you learn that?
Well, I put two and two together because of World War I and all that stuff.
Well, I know, and they were treating the Germans better. But their name used to be a theory
Schmidt.
on that.
It used to be Schmidt. Wasn't Smith.
Yeah, but I don't believe the Germans were really treated as bad as the Japanese were. The Japanese were treated much worse.
German people aren't Smith. They're Schmidt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we change our. Everybody comes over. We come over.
No,
they always change.
but they didn't come.
Name.
They came over. They came over a couple hundred years ago.
Yeah, I know. Because of the Protestant.
You don't speak German at home and change your name to Smith.
No, in Ellis Island, they probably changed it to Smith.
I know, but they'd still call themselves Schmidt. They don't change the name. Walczak makes sense because there's Mike Schmidt, a lot of other people. But in World War I, a lot of people, especially because great-grandpa was a businessman, get more business. Just say, hey, listen,
right?
Our name
Grandpa,
is Smith. Our name is Smith now.
Felix.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
Felix.
Go back,
he was, yeah.
Felix, and Felix is a German name.
Felix, and remember Farmer Smith?
Yeah.
His
Felix,
brother?
Felix is a German name. I met a Felix this week. But Peg, we just scratched the surface of the.
I know we did.
Okay,
of our personal history.
You barely incriminated yourself in things. See, I didn't do anything to denigrate you or anything like that. So
I don't think I incriminated myself. I think I presented myself well.
Okay, that's good. You think that? Yeah.
You said to present myself as I want to be viewed.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play some music right now and say thank you, Peg. And we're going to get back to you again. And next time, maybe.
I hope you pick a good song that would represent something from my era,
Oh, I got a good song for you.
What? Which one? Which one would you put?
It's creepy music. No, I got a Keys Bar and Tavern theme song. I'm going to play it at the end.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So you have your own theme song, so you don't change up.
If I have to, I'd have to pay royalty.
Oh, that's right. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm new to this.
Yeah, you got to pay royalties if you do that. So that's
okay.
Yeah. So
okay. Well, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So
I hope it's a fun song.
See, you've never listened to the show.
I'm going to listen.
At the beginning
I promise.
And the end is a theme song. Unless you
I promise.
No, that's all right, Peg. That's all right. I know you're going to listen to this one, but I'm not going to tell you when it's going to air.
I know.
I'm not going to tell you when it's going to air.
You know what, Jimmy? This is exactly what you did to me when I would come home. You played these little games.
It's not a game.
Yes, it was. You didn't tell me. He's not going to tell me.
What? I don't.
And I provided you.
You know why, Peggy?
I provided
Peggy. You
what?
know why I'm not going to tell you? Because the production company's going to go and they're going to do the sound. They're going to redo the sound, and then they're going to do the show notes, and we'll cover. We'll cover those things up. And it's not a devious thing. I don't know when it's going to air, but I needed to have a couple extra shows in the hopper. So when I go to Poland, July 1st, that I have
air.
Yeah. I'm going. I'm going to a wedding in Poland, right?
I know. I heard you're going to Poland.
Yeah. Did
nice.
you hear Dad, you know what Dad said to me?
What?
He goes, they're having a little problem over there, Jimmy. Do me a favor. Don't say anything controversial when you get off. I said, well, Dad, I wrote up a declaration I'm going to say when I land in Warsaw.
Wait a minute. I actually saw I was watching. Okay, I'm not. Okay,
no,
I was watching the Poland president.
No, but it's funny. Dad said that to me, and he goes, I said, Dad.
Yeah, we're thinking about putting a base there.
Well, we do have troops there already. They're gonna.
We're moving, but they're going to be they're going to be building a really big one, bigly.
Okay, that's enough, Peg. Because the guy just
okay. I just slid it in. I just slid it in
about accepting foreign intel today. So don't talk about the dum-dum. I didn't talk politics, and you don't talk.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I won't talk about. At least you didn't bring up the Quakers.
Oh, yep, that's good. Personally, I don't have a problem with Quakers. I think they're wonderful people. Okay, I want to.
And Richard Nixon. Oh, here's a fun fact. Richard Nixon is a fact. Yes, I am the Lady of the Lake.
Okay, what did you guys say? I didn't mean to get
Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon's a Quaker.
I knew that. Okay. I was going to put a bunch of pictures. I was going to do Dick Sargent, Richard Nixon, Dick Van Dyke. Who was the guy that was on Dick? The guy on
Dick Gregory.
Dick Gregory. What's his name?
Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney. Who's the guy that did New Year's Eve? Dick Clark. And I said, and I wondered if I posted a bunch of pictures on Facebook, a bunch of dick pics if they banned.
Yay! I love that.
Good? You like that one?
Well, you know what? Mark is right here.
Well, it's unfortunately we're 52 minutes in if we get the show too much.
Okay, 52 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. Well, so we're pretty much.
We're gonna have to do it another time. Maybe we could do it next week.
I look forward to it, and it'll be a pleasure.
Talk about some of your theories that have nothing to do with politics.
I have a lot of theories.
Yes. Okay. That'd be good.
I have a lot of theories.
To do with politics.
I do. I have a lot of theories.
Non-controversial.
And I'm not. Someone who believes like we didn't land on the moon or anything like that. I don't believe in that.
You don't believe
people who say they don't believe that.
You don't believe we landed on the moon?
I believe that we landed on the moon. I believe we did. And I also believe the towers went down. The towers went down because of the jet fuel. And that was it. I have theories, yes. But my theories are credible because we did a whole research on it.
Do you have any alien theories?
I believe there is aliens. You know why? Because even Stephen Hawking does.
It's a big universe. It is.
Yes, it is. Of course it is.
Okay, wait, Peg. Another thing. Do you remember in 1998, 99, we had a party at Teddy's? And
I remember all our parties.
No, our cousins were there.
Tom and Amy.
And and how certain you guys were of the collapse of the Western civilization due to the time change?
Oh, you mean the 2000 time change? Yes, and Teddy Burkhart was definitely very worried about it. And I remember changing my...
Teddy wasn't. Tommy was.
No, Teddy was. It was Teddy.
And Tommy believed in
Teddy. Well, they were afraid of there actually was an issue. They were really afraid that the computers weren't going to roll over.
Nothing happened.
No, nothing did happen.
Nothing happened. But remember where you all kind of, and I was laughing at you guys?
I wasn't really that upset. I wasn't that concerned about it. I predicted Osama bin Laden.
Since you brought up the chemistry award thing, I haven't received any, hey, Jim, you were right.
I wasn't on that boat, by the way. I predicted Osama bin Laden was after us.
Can you just say that? Jimmy, you're right.
Jimmy, I agree that you weren't
specific interest.
You were not concerned with the 2000 turnover.
What?
With the year was it 2000 going from 1999 to 2000.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Because they were addressing critical systems that needed to be changed.
They did, and nothing happened. The world was still around the next day.
I'm not saying I'm right on everything, because I do admit when I'm wrong and all that stuff, but...
I did predict Osama bin Laden going after us, though.
I never mentioned...
I did.
I never mentioned how this is endemic into our conversations a lot of times on the phone, that Peggy and I, when you're ready to go, Peggy isn't necessarily ready to go.
Never. Because it's never really ending with us.
No, it never ends. The never-ending phone call. Da, 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 da. I'm playing the music now, Peg. I love you very much. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you, and I enjoyed it.
You're talking over the music? That's good. You can keep on talking. Say hi, goodbye to everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. Enjoy.
You're what?
Enjoy today. Enjoy today.
That's the right way. That's a wonderful thing to say. This is Jimmy Keith, bartender, saying Peg once again, and take care, folks. I don't know when it's going to be coming up, but it's probably going to come up maybe right before the Poland trip. I'm not sure. Take care.
After a long day of being pulled in every direction, the last thing anyone wants to think about is what's for dinner. That's where Schwann's can help, with a variety of real food choices, frozen to lock in freshness. From ready-made meals, premium meats and side dishes, to vegetables, ice cream, and more. Schwann's foods go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours, so you can pull off a delicious meal in no time at all. Ordered, delivered, done. That's homemade easy. To help simplify mealtime, visit schwans.com. After a long day of being pulled in every direction, the last thing anyone wants to think about is what's for dinner. That's where Schwann's can help, with a variety of real food choices, frozen to lock in freshness. From ready-made meals, premium meats and side dishes, to vegetables, ice cream, and more. Schwann's foods go from freezer to table in minutes, not hours, so you can pull off a delicious meal in